Well, as we mentioned, the Senate passing the budget bill by the narrowest of margins. It was a tie-breaking vote from Vice President Vance. What this bill could mean in the long term for spending and debt and deficits and so much more. Joining us now from the White House in an exclusive interview is Russell Vought, Director of the Office of Management and Budget. And Director Vought, it's great to have you on Overtime. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So let's start with the fact that we did have one big, beautiful bill squeak through the Senate. It's going back to the House now. Can this bill get to President Trump's desk by the end of this week? How important is that deadline?
I think so. And I think it's important to stay on the time frame that the president has put forward. We made a lot of progress this week in the Senate, and we're looking forward to having ongoing conversations with conservatives in the House and others to get this thing done this week and to get it to the president's desk.
The Senate version of this bill changes the math on cuts versus spending. How are you calculating that, especially when folks like the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget are saying that this is going to add over $4 trillion to the national debt through 2034, which would be $1 trillion more than the House-passed bill?
Again, the fiscal watchdogs on the outside are playing artificial games with the baselines. They're choosing to not assume current tax relief that is in law. Now, the Senate goes further than the House did in providing additional tax relief. One of the things they do is to provide more certainty to businesses by having the business tax cuts extended for a longer period of time. But that doesn't reduce all of the fact that they have $1.6 trillion in mandatory savings in the bill that more than pays for the additional tax relief that is provided and any spending in the bill. So this is a net deficit reduction in this bill, and it's something that is fiscally responsible. $1.6 trillion in mandatory savings. Again, the biggest thing we've ever seen is $800 billion in 1997, and this doubles that in this one bill. It is a historic bill. It has all of the things that the president ran on. We need to get it to the president's desk.
So Elon Musk has been very critical, continues to be critical of this bill. I think escalating rhetoric aside, be it the subsidies or new political parties, et cetera, his fundamental criticism has been that this bill is going to balloon the deficit and increase the debt. Some of the holdouts we've seen, Republican lawmakers in both houses, have been making similar arguments as well. I realize you just talked about $1.6 trillion in cuts, but how do you respond to those folks?
Again, I would just continue to point out the degree to which this bill has deficit reduction and historic mandatory savings, regardless of what the other things that are in the bill, border security, defense spending, historic tax relief. This is an incredible bill as it pertains to just fiscal responsibility. And this isn't a budget bill. This is the entirety of the first year's agenda on behalf of the president. So this is an enormous step forward. We haven't had anything like this for 30 years. We put $1.6 trillion in mandatory savings for the first time since the 1990s, and somehow this doesn't move the ball forward. We've had futility in this town for decades. This bill changes that.